Heroes, villains, a tale as old as time, and the never-ending battle to protect truth and justice from those who thrive on chaos and bloodshed. Come with us as we peel back the mask on your beloved Crusaders of Light and dive deep into the dark and twisted abyss of the most feared and hated harbingers of doom. Follow your host, Power Maximus, and everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, as they take a trip down the rabbit hole that is everything super. So, are you a hero or a villain? Either way, find that super suit and suit up for the Super Breakdown.
Welcome back to the Super Breakdown. We're back with another awesome episode. This is our 71st episode. 71st episode. So we're closing in on 100 episodes. We're closing in on 100 episodes. Still trying to figure out what we're going to do for the 100th episode. But as always, we are here joined by the Arachnid demigod himself, Lord Triage. Woo! All right. And then, of course, we are here with the Darth Legacy himself, Jason M40. What's up, y'all? How's y'all week, man?
I actually just polished off a big pot of coffee.
You know what? I did the same thing this morning. Then I got ADHD, so when I drink coffee, that shit puts me to sleep. And then when I wake up, I'm fucking energized as hell. Fucking those caffeine naps hit different. Caffeine naps hit different when you're about to hit 30. Oh man. But now we have an awesome episode. Jay, how's yours been? You didn't answer that. How's yours been?
You know, my week has been really good because I've been on vacation. So I've literally been enjoying every hour I can because I need to use this time so I don't go insane.
I feel that. Oh man. So we got a fun episode for y'all today. As always, we're gonna be talking about Mr. Big Green himself, and I'm not talking about the Jolly Green Giant. I'm talking about the really fucking angry one. We are going to be talking about the Incredible Hulk. We will be going through the origins of, God damn it, I almost said David Banner. Bruce Banner, and his angry alter ego, the man with anger issues. We're going to break it down the origin, going into diving into some comics renditions of him. We're going to be going over a few other iterations of Hulk characters, and then also talking about where he is at in the movies and where we hope that his character goes, especially with the new Brave New Worlds, and then finally bringing in Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk. All right, let's get into it. So, what is everyone's understanding of the Hulk's character? So, like the Triage, where is your standing of Hulk go?
So I always took Hulk as the tragic hero. It was one of those things like where he was never meant to be what he was. It's just something he became because of what his skill set was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Stan Lee himself actually said that he based him around Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that.
You know, like what if the monster didn't know he was the monster?
That's an interesting concept to play around with.
Absolutely. Jay, where's your understanding of the Hulk though?
I mean, I can remember going to see the first movie with my dad when I was a little youngin, and I just remember being so amazed because I thought that this, well, you can't really picture this guy as a superhero, but for the first time I thought, well, the more this thing gets attacked, the stronger it gets. And I just remember that. And so then getting more familiar with everything and who the character was pretty cool.
Yeah, for me, I love the Hulk's character as in the comics. I feel like they got to take I feel like they need I'll say they need to take better care of him as a character because in multiple comic book runs, there's Hulk literally ends up being the last surviving being on the planet Earth. Yeah, so I really feel like they need to take so much better care of this character, and then they need to treat him the way that they treat him in the comic books. The Hulk is an absolute force to not be reckoned with.
I'm like in the comics, that form, it's like you're a god, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Hulk's, you know, even then. So let's dive into his abilities. So off rip, we know that, you know, clearly Hulk is a transformation. You know, he's a transformation. But what a lot of people don't understand is that the Hulk also pretty much makes Bruce Banner damn near immortal. You know, we see it with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, where in the first Avengers movie, he tells him that, you know, he put a gun to it in his mouth and pulled the trigger, and the other guy spit the bullet out.
Yeah. So basically saying, even if anything happens to his normal human mortal body, he'll survive because the other guy is going to pop back out.
Exactly. So, you know, we have immortality. Clearly, we have, you know, beyond superhuman strength.
I could call it absolute strength.
What happened? Absolute strength?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter what force is put in front of him. The Hulk is able to adapt to however strong that force is, and he's able to match and surpass however strong that force is. There's been renditions of him being damn near completely vaporized down to the skeleton and still able to completely regenerate limbs, completely regenerate organs. His healing factor rivals Deadpool's healing factor.
I would say his healing, the Hulk's healing factor in Hulk form is probably double that of freaking Wolverine's.
Yeah, the Hulk instantly.
Exactly. You know, that's why I said it rivals Deadpool's, even though Deadpool can regenerate from just even a single molecule.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, okay. But it's slow. It's very slow. Deadpool's regen is slow. You know, it'll take him probably about, you know, quite a few months to regenerate, you know, like the lower half of his body, or more so because they portrayed it differently in the movies for Deadpool. Like his lower half pretty much.
That was like a week.
Yeah, it was about a week, but let's say what happened?
A week shirt cocking it, toddler style. Full on way to poo.
Oh God,
that was crazy.
Oh my God, but
that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. But as in with the Hulk regenerates instantaneously.
Including limbs. That's the thing too. Like,
Yep.
like he gets shot, bullets will bounce off him, but if he gets cut, he'll regenerate immediately. But his limbs will regrow. Like,
Exactly. Like on some fucking Piccolo type shit, he just fucking shoots out. Damn near it's instant. So his healing factor is ridiculous. Immortality, absolute strength. Then we also have a lot of it. I also feel like a lot of his abilities come from that absolute strength, and a lot of people, they don't talk about this. So it's not really the fact of the Hulk being super strong that makes him you don't really want to fuck with him. It's also what he is able to do with that strength.
he's like an exposed nerve.
Exactly, like his like what is it called? His
Rage,
something like that. I forgot what they call them, what they call the move, but when he claps his hand together, it creates a massive sonic.
Oh, he's able to create basically a sonic boom with his hands.
Exactly. And again, that's not like a superpower. That's just him using his strength to create that concussive blow.
Yeah.
That's like when a whip cracks. You hear that crack is the whip actually breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah.
So he's combining his strength with his, like indestructible skin, creating that. And then, he's damn near able to fly. We've seen Hulk so strong to the point he can literally jump from planet to planet, and that's just pure strength of legs. The man can't fly, but we see him damn near flying all the time. But that's just out of pure strength, being able to jump, to fucking different planets. Sorry, I had to take a sip. Shout out to Terramana Tequila. I decided to go with a tequila colada, pretty much. Just tequila and pineapple juice. I would have made a tequila sunrise with it, but I realized I don't have any grenadine. But yeah. So the origin of Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and especially if anyone's seen the old school traditional Lou Ferrigno TV series. We get Bruce Banner, who is a scientist within he's like a gamma scientist. So again, there's been there's like, I would say like 2 or 3 origins of the Hulk, because there's an origin from the comic book where he runs out to save what's his name? He becomes A-Bomb.
Rick Jones.
They're in the middle of testing a gamma bomb. Rick Jones is out there in his little four-wheel drive, a little Jeep and shit, going crazy. Banner sees him, nobody else sees him, so Banner runs out to move him away from the blast and shield him from the blast. And then the bomb goes off and Banner is pretty much disintegrated, but of course, now he gets this alter ego of the Incredible Hulk, which pretty much helps him regenerate, and he's back to life. That's the comic book. That's one of the comic book origins of him. And then in the TV show origin, he was a gamma scientist. But he was studying the fight or flight reflex or instinct of humans, and the idea of how a small woman is able to lift a car to save her baby, and being able to tap into that,
the adrenaline rush and
that primal instinct. And by doing so, he begins to experiment with gamma radiation. And then he ends up turning the gamma ray on himself to see what happens. And next thing you know, he's waking up in the middle of the woods somewheres. And then he finds out that anytime he gets mad or angry, anytime his adrenaline pumps and rushes, he transforms into this big green hulking monster. Excuse me. And so with that, we have the Incredible Hulk. I'm pretty sure there's a third one.
So the third one kind of bridges off of the one from the TV show, but to touch back on the comic book one real quick. So do you know that in the comics it's actually Tony Stark's fault?
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
remember hearing something about that. I don't know the full explanation.
So when the gamma bomb went off, it was revealed that Banner was aware that Rudy Jones was in blast range, and he went out to get him out of the way. Now, in the process of this happening, the countdown couldn't be stopped. And then when he's exposed to the radiation didn't kill him. His body absorbed it, and that's what transformed him into the Hulk. But the reason why the countdown couldn't be stopped is because Tony Stark had sabotaged the bomb because he was jealous of him.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. No, my bad, guys. I ordered Burger King, and I decided to try that fiery Sprite. How the fuck did they make it so spicy? Like Sprite's already spicy. Wow, that's actually spicy. Wasn't expecting that. Damn.
So Tony Stark sabotaged the machine so they couldn't shut it down before it went off, and that's why
they weren't able to stop the countdown, because that's what it was. So Banner saw him and he tried to stop the countdown. Banner saw Jones out there and tried to stop the countdown, but it wouldn't stop. So that's why he ran out to go grab him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So a lot of people there's a lot of people who don't see the Hulk as a hero. They see him more so like as an anti-hero. And I believe at one point he was actually categorized as a Marvel Knight. So as we all know, within Marvel, there's different groups of heroes and different groups of villains. They have their own moniker: X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, so on and so forth. But then there was like kind of like this offshoot brand of heroes that they called the Marvel Knights, they weren't necessarily heroes, but they weren't villains either.
They were like in between. They were like the gray, the anti-villains.
Because it was like what, Moon Knight, Blade, Ghost Rider.
Midnight. And then Punisher was in there, Hulk was in there, and they ended up putting Venom in there as well.
Did you hear the rumor that supposedly Ryan Gosling's supposed to be playing the Ghost Rider?
Did you hear the rumor that Jensen Ackles is supposed to be playing the Ghost Rider?
Oh.
I don't know. Like Jensen Ackles, I feel like there's only certain roles he can play now. He's become a typecast.
But no, and then the other origin for the Hulk was supposed to be that they tied it back into the original series, where it's mentioned in the movie that Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, when he told Emil Blonsky that Banner thought initially he was working on a cure for cancer,
when in reality he was working on a new type of super soldier.
Yes. And then he was so sure that what he was working on was correct, he tested the material on himself, and then something quote unquote went wrong or something went right. So Thaddeus felt because he was using government funded material to experiment on, basically it made his body property of the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Blonsky, Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's another Hulk. That's another Hulk character as well. Because there's quite a few. Because we got Hulk, of course. Then we have Red Hulk, who we're going to see in Brave New World. Then we have She-Hulk, which is Betty Ross, right? Well, no. That's
Betty.
No. Betty Ross is Red She-Hulk.
Oh, you're thinking of Jennifer.
Yeah. Bruce's cousin. But then and then there's Red She-Hulk, which is Betty Ross, and then we have A-Bomb, which is Jones. There's Rick Jones. a lot of times when we see like they call them the agents of Smash, when we see them, they put Korg in there sometimes, or at least someone of Korg's rock race.
I want to point out that I cannot, like, I can picture them making like Harrison Ford into a Hulk. I cannot picture them doing that with the original Ross, who it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
Oh, William Burt? What?
yeah, William Burt.
No way.
Yeah, no, I can
cannot
definitely see it. You really?
Nope, I could not see it.
I don't know. I just thought he's perfect. He had the mustache and all, man.
I can't picture the Hulk with that mustache, bro. I can't do it.
But the Red Hulk, he has the mustache. He has a thick black fucking Steve Harvey looking mustache.
That's true. But I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just the actor. Like, I can't picture the actor doing it.
I'd have to say that's a hot take. I don't know. I personally, I'd have to say that's a hot take, because I was actually pretty damn heartbroken, when he passed away.
I know.
Damn, we were so close. We were one movie away to get to see him at
he was
Red
so
Hulk.
serious. Like, he portrayed such a foe.
Yes, he definitely, I wouldn't say villain, but definitely foe.
Yeah,
definitely foe. Definitely not a friend. Definitely not an ally. Because he wanted what he wanted and he was gonna get it, however he could get it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would have it sucks, and it's sad, because one, he was also an amazing actor. He's also in tons of other films, and he was an amazing actor. But again, I'm pretty confident that Harrison Ford, although we've never seen that's another thing too. Harrison Ford, I don't get that energy from Harrison Ford. I don't get that faux energy from Harrison Ford.
No, I don't either.
We've never seen him play a bad guy.
Exactly.
No,
so
we've
never seen him play
he's
a bad
Indiana
guy.
Jones, man. He's not a bad guy.
Bad movies, not a bad guy.
Oh man.
But I don't know. I just I'm interested. I'm forgetting about Hulk's son Scar.
Oh.
Yeah, we do, and I will point this out. We do not count Hulkling, because Hulkling is not a Hulk character. He's not a Hulk character. Hulk, they call him Hulkling, but I'm pretty sure he's a Skrull. He's a Skrull hybrid. He's like half human, half Skrull, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not an actual, he's not an actual Hulk character, unlike Amadeus Cho, though. And I'm not going to count the Maestro either, because the Maestro is Bruce Banner as well. He is like he's Bruce Banner. I'm just counting characters that aren't Bruce, that have Hulk powers.
Yeah, other characters.
Now, the Hulk himself has had different forms in himself. We've definitely, of course, we all know and love the green iteration of Hulk, but he also has other, I say other colors. I'd say it that way, just to put it like in layman's term. He has other colors, and those colors are also kind of like other personalities, because we have the Gray Hulk. What was his name?
Mr. Fix.
Mr. Fix. Yeah, Mr. Fix. Then we also have, and then Savage Hulk is Hulk without Banner's mind.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is supposed to be that the Hulk, the reason why the Hulk was an alternate personality is because Banner basically had a form of DID, because as a youth he witnessed his mother being abused by his father, and that he had to repress all his anger and all his emotion he felt, which led to the creating of a dual personality that had to bury all its emotions. That dual personality is basically the embodiment of the Hulk.
Yep. And so that's why I feel like the Hulk is also the saddest character for me.
I don't know about that.
I say that because, like, if when you think about it that way, and you know the fact that Hulk is a dual personality who has been created out of all of Banner's repressed anger and sadness. Because as a child, you know, seeing your mother be abused, that's not just anger that builds. That also builds sadness too. You know, so he's a creature created out of anger and sadness. And that's why there was another iteration of Hulk that didn't do very well, and it did not do well. I'm just not say very well. It didn't do well at all in the comic books. That was pretty much Kull. It was like Kulh, and that's pretty much the Hulk. If he so the reason why he came out was pretty much that this is taking part where Hulk is officially fully a part of the Avengers. He's he's more sentient. He's more a part. His own personality has been more fleshed out. He's communicative. He's talking and stuff like that. We also see that in a comic where we talked about it when we went over our Juggernaut episode. There's a whole episode where Hulk was rampaging, but it was really a ploy just to get Juggernaut out. He captures Juggernaut, and Juggernaut captures him, but then Hulk breaks out, and it was all really a ploy to point out that, like, yo, y'all shitting on me for destroying shit, breaking shit, and all this and that. And this is him speaking. He's like, y'all, in layman's terms, like, y'all shitting on me about doing what I do, and freaking out, bugging out, breaking shit, destroying shit, hurting people, shit, even killing people. When this motherfucker that captured me, y'all holding him as a hero. Me, when I did all that, I wasn't in my right mind. I was not sentient. I was not in control. This motherfucker with the chrome dome over here, he was completely in control, 100%, and he made the choice to do what he did. It wasn't a choice for me. So
That's true.
We see this more sentient Hulk. And what ends up happening is the Avengers get murked. All his friends, all the Avengers get killed. And so they say that this version of Hulk comes out who is just like not mindless, but pretty much put a brain and sentience inside the Savage Hulk. And that's what he was. He was angry and sad at the same time. And it pretty much brought out this other personality called Kull. And pretty much, it was just because Hulk was really fucking sad. It clearly, off that concept, didn't do well for obvious reasons. But now there's this other version of the Hulk who is officially the Hulk's Hulk. And I'll get into that in a little bit. And because I fucking love it. I think Triage, I sent that to you one time.
Yes.
Yeah. That storyline's fucking crazy. So I'll touch on that in a moment. But yeah, so we have Green Hulk, we have Gray Hulk, Joe Fixit or Mr. Fixit, and then we have Savage Hulk. Was there another color of Bruce? I'm not too sure. I know there were like parody colors. But no, so
no, not like actual. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'll go with this other version of Hulk that is officially known as the Hulk's Hulk. And this entire storyline, shout out to Comics Explained. He did an amazing job breaking down this run on Hulk. So pretty much this Hulk, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember who it was. Wasn't Reed. Damn, I'm trying to remember who it was.
What?
they had pretty much taken over the Hulk's mind.
Oh, it was the Scarlet Witch.
No. In this comic book run. Damn, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Reed. I think it was Reed. So I don't know. I have to look it up again. But pretty much what happens is the Hulk had went on a rampage, and this is like a continuation of another storyline. And we see Hulk, he's kind of like cyberized and stuff like that. He has all these extra, cybernetic attachments onto him and stuff like that. And pretty much he uses him. This person uses him to pretty much like travel across the multiverse. And he ends up pretty much having this weird, wild, like full control over the Hulk's body. And we end up finding out that, like, in fact, he has the Hulk's actual brain, like locked away, like in a deep subconscious like vault or whatever. But we end up also finding out that he has a like full like this meter. It looks like a spaceship. It looks like a whole actual spaceship, and he can control how much anger the Hulk produces.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, by just moving this lever up and down. And within doing that, he pretty much like it gets to a point where he just Titan Hulk, that's what they call him. They call him Titan Hulk. And he pretty much controls this thing like a whole freaking spaceship. And at one point, every time he moves the lever up in that little chamber that he has Hulk locked away in, Hulk ends up getting attacked by X amount of level of monsters and villains, which forces him, as we all know, the angrier the Hulk gets, the stronger he gets. So he uses that anger that Hulk is generating within that subconscious realm to fuel and power Hulk's physical body while still being in control. Yeah, it's nutty. It's real nutty. It's sick, dude.
So did you just go full Lawrence Talbot on me? Did you just ask me, is it all right to kill the monster and not kill the man? Is that what's going on right now?
Ah, man. I'm just saying that's what they did. I would rather have Hulk be in his right mind than someone else using his powers and abilities. But let's take a quick break, hear from our podcast friends in Heartline Comics. We'll be right back after these messages.
Going on, everybody, Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, The Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchup. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out The Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Calvin, from the Icarus Podcast, and I just want to say that we got new episodes coming next Saturday and every Saturday after that. So all I would have to say from here is keep enjoying the show. You can check us out, www.IcarusMetroComics.com. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and more. See y'all next time.
Join the Pulse. We're excited to announce the launch of Heartline Comics' newest line, the Barcode Collection. Our fresh drop just hit the internet and is turning heads. Imagine this. You're rocking our merch, and friends can scan the barcodes to instantly connect with the Heartline Comics website. It's a game changer. Stay ahead of the curve and never miss a beat. Subscribe to our website for exclusive alerts on the latest merch drops and the newest comics hitting the shelves. Be part of the Heartline community and show off your style with pride. Trust us, you don't want to miss this.
All right, and we are back. So during the break, I was able to pull up a little more information on Mr. Titan Hulk himself. So just trying to find the name of the person that had taken over his mind. So I'll go over this. Is there any like really memorable storylines that you guys really enjoyed of the Hulk?
Not really. There's nothing that really comes to mind. I mean, I appreciate like his big his crossover episodes, like him being a founding member of the Avengers, him having to square off against Wolverine. And I always think it felt like we kind of got cheated because we never really got a chance to see that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, there was, and like this goes back to what I said in the beginning. They need to. I really feel like they have to take better care of, you know, of the Hulk character, because he's a part of so many, you know, storylines, and also being the founding member of the Avengers. Like there needs to be more discussed about him, and they need to really like, you know, crack down on his storyline.
Yeah, they don't really go talk about behind this, like what happened.
Exactly. They like you said, they completely go over, completely fucking gloss over fucking his whole World War Hulk run. You know, go ahead.
I think they're going to get back to that, especially the way they ended She-Hulk with the whole Sakaar thing.
Yeah, but like that's different. It's not going to be it actually, you know, seeing it happen. If they do that, we're not going to see it happen firsthand. We're going to see it happen as like flashbacks as they're going through doing something else. And I'm not a big fan of that idea.
I mean, are you expecting them to go like full Spartacus and you see like the whole rebellion and then everything with the Grand Master? And
I would have appreciated if they had did that. You know, maybe change it up a little bit, because you know we already have the animated movie for World War Hulk. You know, just maybe change it up a little bit. But no, I would have appreciated seeing that, and then seeing that, you know, because the way they did the way they did Sakaar was a little bit different than a little too different for my liking. Because like it was the same kind of idea, whatever. He lands on the planet, he gets taken in and forced to fight. But they don't touch on like how important the Hulk actually was to the planet. You know, they you know, in Ragnarok, they just kind of like the way they created his character for Sakaar is that he was just a source of entertainment for them, instead of being a source of hope for them. Because Sakaar is supposed to be like a completely barren wasteland the atmosphere is pretty much gone. The cosmic rays have completely wiped out, all foliage and stuff like that. The only reason why that the people there are alive is because they've over generations adapted to being able to live in that harsh environment. So that to me, that's they didn't do that. They just kind of like showed Hulk as this piece of entertainment for
Coliseum
them.
like guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was basically the point they pushed.
Just got domesticated overnight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When in the actual story of World War Hulk, he was the reluctant hero. The World War Hulk storyline is what pretty much within, at least within their animated universe today, because they had the animated Avengers movie, animated Avengers 2. That goes along with the new Avengers about their kids and fighting Ultron and shit like that. And then also World War Hulk is a part of that mini connected animated universe that they had. Before that, Hulk was the usual Hulk as we see him. Banner gets angry, the Hulk's uncontrollable. Yeah, he might help them, but after he gets done, they're able. Pretty much all Banner at this point, all Banner is able to do is he's able to direct the Hulk. He's able to point him in a certain direction, right? He transforms. And what was that?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at what you said.
Yeah, all he's able to do is just like point him in the direction, and just after that, it's up in the air. So he ends up. The entire reason why he's on Sakaar is because the Avengers are like, you know what, buddy, we appreciate you. You helped us defeat the I can't remember what alien race it was that was attacking in that animated movie, because I watched it so long ago. And you helped us out, but you're too destructive, because they found out that gamma ray is the only way to get through the alien shield, and who's the biggest fucking gamma bomb that they got? It's the Hulk. So Banner lets the Hulk loose on these guys. He wins, they defeat him, but then he goes on a rampage and starts fucking destroying everything in sight. So now they got to put him down, put him to sleep. Well, they ended up putting him in a Quinjet and shipping this motherfucker out into space. Now, when he wakes up, he sees the video that they left for him, and he rages the fuck out while he's inside the ship. He destroys the ship, which makes it end up crash landing on Sakaar. And they're like, oh, he's a being from outer space, whatever. He's big, he's bulky, he's got, he's got to be able to, throw hands. So the Grandmaster ends up capturing him and forces him to fight in the gladiator thing. But within doing that, he ends up becoming kind of like this symbol of hope for the people, because Hawk don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
And then he also go ahead.
I said at all.
And he also doesn't like to be used. And this is where we finally start to see that more sentient side of Hulk come out, when he's like, "Oh, hey, yo, nah, I'm not with this. Listen, my friends, people I thought were my friends, just shit me all the way out here. I'm just here to fight. I get free food. All I gotta do is do what I do best. That's all I am. I'm a monster. All I can do is break shit. I can't bring life to anything." But
sounds like slavery to me.
Yeah. And so,
Basically,
unbeknownst to him, is that his blood is actually kind of like the gamma radiation in his blood has the power and ability to revitalize the planet. Because when he was first getting captured, of course he ain't going down without a fight, but they ended up cutting him and his blood spilled. And after they take him away, there's a little scene and it shows a plant growing from where his blood was spilled at. Mind you, on a planet that is completely barren and completely, irradiated. Yeah.
It's a good story. Like the whole World War Hulk story is good.
Yeah, it really is. And so pretty much, the queen, the princess of Sakaar ends up seeing this, and she herself, who was also kind of green, she's like, yo, like, no, you can really do something. You can really be something here. You've become the strongest person in this spot. You have the power to overthrow the Grand Master. You have the power to overthrow him. And reluctantly, he doesn't do it for them, but he ends up seeing that the Grandmaster kind of pretty much has it out for him. So he's like, oh, okay. You want the smoke, you want beef, I bet. I ain't gonna. So pretty much he ends up calling out the Grandmaster, not because to help lead a rebellion, but because the Grandmaster keeps fucking with him. And he's like, I bet, nigga, you want these hands? You gonna get these hands. And there's a whole battle, whatever, and and within doing that, that's when he ends up seeing that, I'm not just a monster. I can really do good if I really tried. And there's a whole moment where he pretty much sets off a massive gamma explosion, which ends up revitalizing the planet. I forget like the course of events that led him up to the gamma bomb, but he ends up setting off the gamma bomb and revitalizing and the entire planet that had been a barren wasteland for forever. And so he ends up settling down there. After all that, he becomes king, and Shorty becomes queen. They do what people do. And but what ends up happening is I don't know how or why Hulk leaves Scar to go back to Earth. I can't remember why, but he the scroll. So the scroll come and attacks the car. Right? They destroyed damn near so much, and so now he got a bone to pick with them because he ends up fending him off and they leave, and he's like, whoa, you done came out my people. I'm not letting your ass get away. And that's when kind of part of World Breaker Hulk comes in, and that's when he literally chases down the scroll across the galaxy, jumping from planet to fucking planet. But when he leaves, he doesn't know that she was pregnant with her second child at that time. What was it? Was it Scar that she was pregnant with when he ends up leaving?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure because I know Hiro Kala was kind of like his the son that he didn't know that he ended up having with her. Like because she ended up having Hiro Kala after Hulk had left the planet, and then the planet ends up dying, and Hiro Kala ends up getting sold into slavery and shit like that. And that story is fucking wild and crazy. But now but yeah, so we see this this Hulk who's able to fucking jump from planet to planet damn near effortlessly.
Yeah.
The power of the Hulk is, like you said, like infinite. It's damn near fucking infinite. So for anyone who wants to know about that story with the Hulk that I was talking about, I recommend heading over to Comics Explained over on YouTube. This guy's amazing. He breaks down. He has like 2-3 hour long videos that are a compilation of his other videos where he's breaking down an entire comic book run. And this one particular video is called Titan Hulk Fights 500 World War Hulks.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like how Kendrick Lamar felt when he didn't take on Drake's Ghost Riders.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty damn much. But it's fucking it's crazy. So pretty much. So as we know, like Worldbreaker Hulk is by and large the strongest version of the Hulk, right? But this pretty much this storyline answers the question: what happens when Bruce Banner, hopping through the multiverse, has to fight an army of Hulks that are on that Worldbreaker Hulk level, and as indestructible, and so it's wild because he ends up going through the multiverse, ends up getting attacked by like the multiversal guardians or some shit like that. I forget the name of their actual hero group, but he pretty much smashes through them fucking all. Mind you, he's also being controlled by someone else, and I can't remember who the fuck that someone else is for the life of me. But I will find out, and I will definitely let you guys know. And so he ends up landing in this other universe where everything's different. Everything's fucking different. It's a different type of Earth. Everything's different. And the one thing that's different was, instead of the US using the gamma bomb as a weapon, they ended up using the gamma bomb as fuel, as an energy alternative. So they're using it for energy purposes instead of war purposes, right? But Mr. Thunderbolt Ross, who is also the president at this time, doesn't really like that idea. Now, this is also a storyline where Banner doesn't become Hulk.
Said, I am not crook.
So this on this Earth, Banner doesn't become Hulk. The experiment with the gamma bomb goes off as it's supposed to. Tony doesn't. He didn't sabotage anything. Rick Jones wasn't out there. But you would think, okay, so what's wrong? America decided not to use a bomb for war, and instead they invested that technology into energy efficiency and stuff like that. What could go wrong? What could go wrong is Thunderbolt Ross didn't like that, and he ended up using the gamma bomb and started a fucking massive world war, which pretty much wiped out the rest of the world. And America is its own. It's the only thing that, like, half of America survived, and everything else outside of America either has been completely destroyed or mutated into Hulk-esque beings.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So what we end up finding out is now Thunderbolt Ross has pretty much had Banner underneath his thumb this whole time. Banner has actually been scouring the multiverse on the side, trying to find another banner to try to help him take down Ross while still working for Ross, because he was under the impression that Ross was actually going out and finding these mutated Hulk creatures and having Banner dispose of them, just to kill them, get rid of them, throwing them into like outer space. They're like, and when I say mutated, I don't mean like, oh, they're Hulk beings. No, I mean like they're like decrepit, mutated, they're like one arm big, one arm little, like really, 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 really deformed, like to the point where they're like unable to kind of like live and exist. So Banner was like, oh, okay, all he's doing is just getting rid of these this unfortunate Hulks, these abominations, so to speak. And so what ends up coming out, Thunderbolt Ross was only giving Banner those ones, but was actually capturing and experimenting on the more fully formed Hulks. Yeah. So Hulk gets pulled into this, Hulk being controlled by someone else, gets pulled into this universe, not knowing what the fuck's going on. He gets told by Banner, hey, you got to help me, this and that. But yeah, he ended up finding out that's what Thunderbolt was doing, and kind of like went into hiding. But fucking, like, he ends up leaving, like, nah, I ain't fuck that, I ain't helping you, I'm on my own mission. But he ends up finding this whole other area. He ends up going off to this whole other planet, and he ends up finding these Hulks that have completely like evolved. And like, so the portal that they had Banner throwing him to wasn't throwing him into space. It was actually a portal onto a different planet.
Yeah.
And pretty much time had ran differently through the portal. And there was like a whole time paradox where apparently another version of Hulk had come to that planet and had ravaged the planet and ended up setting off his own gamma bomb.
Wow.
Which pretty
That's
much
crazy.
Yeah, it revitalized all these other decrepit Hulks. And so over time, they ended up evolving into sentient, regular, strong, regular Hulk people. And so in their culture and religion, they held Hulk as like a god to them. So now this Hulk randomly pops out into their universe like, oh shit, God's back.
Yeah.
All the while he's like, the fuck is going on here? But then he ends up getting comfortable because he sees that like, oh shit, these people are on the same level as me. They have a whole thing that they called Hulk Ball, where it was like a festival that they would do every so often, where literally like a bunch of Hulks would jump from their planet to another uninhabited planet.
That's
absolutely crazy. Destroy that planet and compress that entire planet into a ball. And then they would take it back to their planet. And then they would see who can throw the ball the furthest. So like these, like all of these Hulks are literally world breaker power level. And there's a whole civilization of them, advanced civilization of them, that have the ability to completely tear down a planet and put it into a ball. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, Triage. I didn't see that you had dropped out.
Nah, once again, like I said, and here I thought Poole was racist.
But yeah, it is a crazy storyline. And then eventually decides, and it's like, all right, whatever, I gotta go back to help Banner. And so he ends up going back to help Banner, the other Banner, and he's just absolutely everything, everything that Thunderbolt Ross is throwing at them, he's just wrecking them, wreaking havoc. But then Thunderbolt Ross ends up pushing a kid out of a helicopter.
Awful.
Now, the backstory for this kid is that while he was younger and he was in school, he was bitten by a gamma radiated spider.
Okay.
You see where I'm going with this, guys?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So he ends up pushing Peter Parker out of this plane, who had, instead of being bitten by a regular radioactive spider, the word regular and radioactive spider should never go together. But instead of being bitten by the usual radioactive spider, he's bitten by a gamma radiated spider, which now gives him the powers of Hulk and a spider. So he ends up becoming this giant ass fucking Spider Hulk, which is like 10 times the size of Bruce Banner Hulk, and has 8 legs and an upper torso of a human being, and he's wearing like spider-esque, like kind of like costuming, I guess.
God, why?
It's crazy to even think about.
Yeah, it is crazy. Fuck it being crazy to think about. It's crazy to see. It's crazy to fucking see. Like I said, check out Comic Books Explained. Check out Titan Hulk fights 500 World War Hulks.
Oh, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. He dropped the video like last year, like mid last year, and yeah, it's the whole storyline is fucking crazy. Like he ended up actually doing like a whole, like I said, like it was like 2 hours long, and that video was called The Incredible Hulk Strongest Form, and that's also by Comics Explained. Sick, just the fucking story is sick. It's gonna blow your fucking mind.
Yeah, no, it sounds sick.
Yeah, but then what leads into the Titan Hulk scenario is that pretty much it's like there's like 2 stories going on at the same time. There's the one that's happening outside of Hulk, which is the whole Banner, Thunderbolt Ross, Hulks and shit, but then there's also what's going on inside of Hulk's mind. And we end up finding out that while this one person is controlling Hulk, this person is also seeing like kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. It was Banner. It was Bruce. It was Bruce Banner. He was the one. He pretty much compartmentalized the Hulk and turned him into like a living spaceship. So while he's using Hulk's body, he is Bruce Banner's mind and he has full control over the Hulk and what he does. But this Bruce Banner is also kind of, he's not all there. And he's starting to see visions of Betty Ross, who was dead at this point.
Yeah.
And they're having conversation, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But as the story progresses, you end up finding out that this vision that he's seeing is not Betty Ross at all. It's not like her in his mind saying you shouldn't do this, whatever. It's in fact a dark malevolent spirit that is posing as Betty Ross in order to get Bruce to use Hulk's body to do wild shit. But when
as a weapon,
but when this realized that Bruce is not going to do it, he has one goal in mind. Can't remember what that goal is. I can't even remember why he went into the fucking multiverse in the first place. It was so long ago. And it's like, all right, well, fuck it. If you're not going to do what I want you to do, then I'm going to just do it myself. And pretty much knocks him out, takes control, and it's like, I wonder what happens when the Hulk gets angry. When the Hulk hulks out and takes the lever and maxes it out to 10. Which, again, in this little subconscious chamber that the Hulk's personality and mind is locked in, every time that lever goes up, he gets attacked by stronger and stronger beings.
Yeah, exactly.
To make him get stronger and stronger and defeat them. So when that lever gets maxed out, now he's being attacked by God level characters, God level enemies.
What does that mean though? Like, that's a level of power that no reasonable person should ever reach.
Exactly. So that pretty much means he's getting attacked by Galactus and all Celestials, Null, all these God tier, like on like power level wise, God tier characters from the Marvel universe. He's being attacked by them. And this is where I think it was last episode before, one of the episodes, the D23 episode, where I talked about Galactus and how Galactus whoever's looking at Galactus, they see him as the species that they are. And this is where I was talking about Hulk Galactus. So when Hulk sees Galactus in this mindscape, he's not, just this giant, white guy. No, he's actually a hulked out Galactus. And so, of course, in order to not die and in order to pretty much overcome this obstacle, Hulk has to go beyond his previous limits in order to fight and destroy these things, which on the outside translate him into becoming this monster, demonic, looking being. Like he's all black. He's this like spewing like gamma radiation. He has like he becomes red. He's like black and red. He has horns growing out of him and shit like that. He grows like 5 times. So he's like the same size as that Spider Hulk he was fighting, and ends up, turns around and pretty much. So Doctor Strange is involved in the storyline. Someone else is also involved in the storyline. And then pretty much the leader of the Hulk people is like, you know what? You got 500 World Breaker Hulk level people here. We can help you fend him off while you do what you got to do. And so, yeah, we end up seeing Titan Hulk take on 500 World Breaker level Hulks, and he just pretty much massacres them all.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so we end up finding out pretty much that the spirit, somebody had like actually hexed him, had put a spell on him to slowly drive him mad or whatever. But and then Banner, he wakes up within that mindscape like, shit, I got to stop this. This is not what I want to happen. So he goes down to the chamber and he's like, hey, I'm sorry. But some shit's going down and we need your help. And Hulk's like, fuck you. You don't put me in this motherfucker, got me fighting all these motherfuckers, this blah, blah, blah. Mind you, Hulk didn't know that until Bruce told him. He thought he was actually in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like, you know what? So eventually Hulk's like, all right, fuck it, let's go, whatever. And so Hulk ends up taking his body back over and dispelling the evil spirit that got placed on him. I forgot who was the one that placed it on him, but Doctor Strange helped in pulling that that out. But it's a fucking wild ass storyline, and I highly recommend it to everyone and anyone who wants to watch it. Or watch it or read it. But yeah, Comics Explained. Shout out to him. He broke that shit down amazingly. It's literally, I sat there for 2 hours nonstop watching this fucking video. It's fucking nuts. Sounds so when it comes to Hulk in a whole as a character, from his origins to where he is, where would you like to see them go with Hulk? I know we all know your opinions on what they're doing right now with him, with this whole really bad Professor Hulk storyline they got going on here. But where would you like to see them go? Because from the ending of She-Hulk.
Whoa.
Tragic ending of She-Hulk.
So honestly, I would like to see them do with Hulk the same thing they did with Spider-Man. I would like so like we've had multiple actors play the Hulk.
Yeah.
So what I want to see a version of him that is the Maestro, that is the big bad guy.
They also end up calling him Future Hulk as well.
For example, like if Eric Bana was the Maestro and then Mark Ruffalo needed to go to Edward Norton to help him.
Oh, to help him pull that savage side of Hulk back out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That would be really good. And because I'm pretty sure Edward Norton's kind of like, I'm sorry, Marvel. I'm sorry that I, was being, that guy wanting more money and shit like that. Sorry, I was being a Terrence Howard. That would be really cool. That would be really cool. And I'm pretty sure I'm definitely I haven't seen Eric Bana in anything since then, really. So I'm pretty sure he'd be down to play a maestro, the maestro. Because again, like all right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. The first Hulk movie, to me it really wasn't bad.
Go on.
It really wasn't bad. Of course, CGI at the time, they weren't the CGI at the time wasn't the greatest, but I felt like it gave I feel like they tweaked his origin a little bit because they had, all right, yeah, he gets hit with the gamma bomb, right? But they had the thing with Brian Banner, his father, pretty much abusing his mother, and the Hulk pretty much being that suppressed, all those suppressed emotions from that. But also they added in that Brian was the one who was the main scientist working on that super soldier serum and that super soldier project for Ross, and he was injecting Bruce with some kind of serum or whatever as a child, which also contributed to the creation of the Hulk. So instead of it just being the two things, the repressed memories, the repressed emotions, and the gamma radiation, it was the repressed emotions, gamma radiation, as well as physical experimentation being done on him by his father. Because it pretty much Thunderbolt Ross was like, yeah, no, we're canceling your the project that you're working on, but Brian was still working on it in the background using military and U.S. government funds and technology to do so, which is why when Banner first goes Hulk, that's why Thunderbolt Ross wants him so bad, because like, oh, he ends up finding out, oh, okay, no, so you're property of the United States, so we own you, so we want you back. And pretty much they wanted to take him and experiment on him and create super soldiers. But I feel like the movie, it did very good by showing us the origins of Hulk. It did very good on action wise. I think I like the action in it. We got to see the first time in live action, aside from Lou Ferrigno, the true extent of the Hulk's power. At least it's a taste of what his power is like. But then they also showed that he's the Banner's still sentient in there as well. He's still sentient in there. And I thought it was good, especially bringing in the leader. And because his father, so they bring his father back. His father wasn't the leader, but his father was also a Hulk type character as well. I don't know what the hell was his power. His father's power, really.
Are we talking about in the original movie, or are we talking about
the original movie?
So they basically kind of made him like the absorbing man, so he could manipulate matter and material and then copy it, or become one with the material and manipulate it. So I didn't really care for that I did not care for that.
Yeah,
care for that's that interpretation of the character.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a power. I think, like, if you knew what to do with it, like if you knew all aspects of it, you'd have fun with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I enjoyed the Hulk dogs. It was a little out there, but it was pretty cool. I thought it was fun.
I think there was like 3 big problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
One, no one cared about Emil Blonsky.
No.
So I think that was a big part of the fight right there, because it's not like, Emil was dying or Emil was sick or Emil needed the super soldier serum. Like, he was one of those guys, like if you looked at like his creation, like he was just being bad for the sake of being bad. If anything, he was well on his way to becoming a real villain.
Are we jumped to Edward Norton now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We're jumping to Edward Norton now. All right. Good. Sorry.
My fault. So if you look at, that's why if you look at that movie as a whole, I think the reason why that didn't work within the MCU is because I don't think Edward Norton's Hulk had the personality for it.
Mm.
Like,
And that's my thing. I feel like they started to give him personality, but it just wasn't there. The character development that they had Edward Norton at the point, it just, yeah, you're right, it wouldn't have worked.
So between the fact, the whole thing with Blonsky, and the other thing that might be a troubleshoot for me, and this now stop me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think the CG fights are not doing as well because I love a good knockdown drag out fight as much as the next guy, but
Yeah.
the super heavy, completely CGI, it's too much. Like, I thought the fight in Man of Steel between Superman and Zod was too much with the CGI.
Yeah.
Well, now, so like you have two characters that are completely CGI fighting amongst themselves, and it's like Abomination's just fighting for the sake of fighting, and then Hulk's fighting to stop him. So it's like, all right, but it's like there's no real stakes beyond that. Like, look.
Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying. There's no it gives you no sense of like importance for the fight. It's like, what was Emil really doing? You know what I mean? It's like, what was the end result to make the real calls for the entirety of the fight?
Like, look at the Black Panther.
Yeah.
If you look at the way T'Challa fought Killmonger at Warrior Falls, and then look at the way they fought on the train tracks in the vibranium suits, like, most people don't even give that second fight a second thought.
I get what you're saying.
There was no the reasoning behind the fight, because it's like, all right, so what if Abomination would have won? What's at stake for Hulk to be fighting that hard?
Opposed to Killmonger, who was like, the world took everything away from me, yada yada yada. Like, I'm gonna make sure we're even. I'm gonna track down anyone who would even think about being loyal to you, and I'm put each one of them motherfuckers in the dirt. Like he said that,
absolutely.
He said that shit, and he meant it.
Yeah, because in that first fight on Warrior Falls, like I said, there was something at stake. There was the throne was at stake. But and that's another thing that I really got to work on. They got to work on their stakes. What's at stake if the hero loses? And that's what they did so well when it came to the Infinity Saga. At least for Infinity Wars. Wait, what? Right? Infinity War, right? Yeah. That's really what was at stake with Infinity Wars. Like, yo, if we lose, the entire universe is at stake. So, and I feel like that's something that the MCU needs to do going forward. They need to raise the stakes. They definitely, the stakes need to be raised. There's got to be something more at risk now, because it's like, all right, the universe was at risk before when Thanos did it. All right, well, what's at risk now with Doom? When he did Multiverse of Madness, what was at stake? The multiverse was at stake. I feel like that's the only thing that Multiverse of Madness did right, besides give us some cool visuals.
Yeah.
They gave that movie gave us some cool visuals, but they also made it so that the multiverse was at stake. Like, if Strange lost, if Scarlet won, the multiverse was going to collapse.
I get what you're saying in the comparison between the two.
Yeah. So and that's the thing that they've been. That's the one thing that I feel like they need to help tie the MCU together.
If you think about it, Thanos was the last major enemy.
Right.
Yep.
We don't know who the next major enemy is. There's a few good guesses.
Because even then, even though we got Doom, we don't know if Doom is really going to be the final big bad. He's supposed to be, but
yeah,
we don't know. They could just be, they could just be pulling Doom in to fill Kang's spot, and we really just have to deal with him for a movie. And then, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, at the end of the Avengers movies, we always got that little post-credit scene of Thanos. Oh, something always leading up, hinting at, something's coming, something's coming. We haven't got any of that. None of that. Eternals tried, but they were missing the rest of the formula.
Yeah.
They were missing the rest of the formula.
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, the Eternals look great on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But the end result, they were just dry.
Yeah, super dry, super dry.
It didn't really tell you, why.
Yeah, why? That's the biggest question is why? Why is all this happening? Why do they have to stop it? And then the final question is, what will happen if they don't stop it? And I feel like the reason why the Eternals were so dry is because they're a team from the start. On the other hand, the Avengers work so well because these are characters that can stand on their own, and now they're being forced together into a group to work together. These are characters that don't work in teams. Before the Avengers, they've never worked in a team. They're all lone wolves.
I don't know about that. Like my thing with the Eternals was, I think it's because the reason why they were so dry is because they were so detached from the world. Like, you've heard this saying, there's a difference between you having a life and you living your life.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't living, they were just existing, and they were existing in a world that knew nothing about them.
Yeah, that's pretty depressing.
So so I think that was a big part of it. I think about that. None of them had fathered children or like settled down or had land except for the one. And it's like none of them had gone on to build lives for themselves. They were just starting to work on that, and they've been there a few hundred years. Yeah,
millennia. They're pretty much on Earth from damn near like the dawn of the human race. Damn near.
Like, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like Vandal Savage still being a knuckle dragger.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I feel like it's two parts. I feel like that's definitely a part of it, but on screen, when they introduced them on screen, they had no personality because there was nothing that they individually were going through. They had spent millennia together, you know what I mean? So there was no real like they had a little bit of butting heads, but it was like they butted heads for like 10 minutes and it was like, all right, yeah, let's work together again. No, on the other hand, we see the Avengers, every fucking movie, they're still butting heads. It's less and less each movie because they're becoming more accustomed to each other and the way each other works and the way each other thinks. They're becoming more accustomed to each other's personalities. So I also believe you are right, Triage, on that as well. There's two parts of it. Like, one, they're a team from the start. They were born together. They're pretty much all siblings, damn near. So they've been around each other their entirety of their lives. And they had no real true conflict with each other. And then on top of that, like you said, they were just existing in a world for millennia. And like you said, they had just started creating lives for themselves. So there's that's so I feel like that's the biggest reason why it didn't work. So I feel like for anything that has to do with Hulk going forward, because now they so I understand the reason why they weren't able to treat Hulk with the respect that he deserves, because they didn't have the full rights to Hulk. So they couldn't just.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they couldn't do really really much with him because who was it? Was it Universal? I think Universal had the rights to Hulk. Why? I don't fucking know. That's before me.
Hold on. So clarify real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What in your mind did Eric Bana Hulk and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk and the Avengers have that Edward Norton's Hulk didn't?
I would reverse that. I would say there were things that Edward Norton's Hulk had that Bana and Ruffalo's don't.
Such as
The true like internal turmoil between having those two dualities. So when you look, Eric Bana had just been introduced to this, so he didn't have any time to really like understand like fuck, like this is I'm fucked. Like, you know, Edward Norton, he was like at the bottom of the barrel. He didn't trust himself. He couldn't trust himself. There was so much inner turmoil, him running from the government, this is and that. And now, but when we see Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is Edward Norton's Hulk, they're canon. They just did that stupid shit of fucking changing actors and then changed the way he looked, and it was just it annoys me. But yeah, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, he's a Bruce Banner who has come to terms with what he is and how he is, and instead of not and he's not that he's no longer trusting himself. Now he's legitimately scared of himself. Well, at least when we're first introduced to him, he's legitimately like scared of himself and what he could do. Edward Norton, on the other hand, he wasn't afraid of himself or what he as much as what he can do, but more so he didn't trust that he himself would be able to stay calm, cool, and collected. I just feel like Edward Norton's Hulk had more turmoil than Bana or Ruffalo.
Okay. So Bana was the shaking of the champagne. Edward Norton was the uncorking of it in the mess, and then Ruffalo was like the sipping of it.
Yeah, kind of.
That is great.
Putting everything, like putting the sand back in the bottle.
Mm.
Yeah. So, because me personally, I liked Edward Norton's Hulk more than I like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, because I felt like it was more serious. Even if you look at the design of his Hulk was bigger. He was more muscular. Like you can see when he flexed, they made sure you saw his muscles ripple.
His Hulk was more emotional.
Yes, there you go. It was more emotional. Because that thing about the Hulk, he's anger. It's emotion. He's an emotionally driven character.
Sun's getting real low. All right. Sun's getting real low.
Yeah, it's like the fuck. What the fuck are you, a baby? You're the fucking Hulk. You're the fucking Hulk. Just because a sexy white woman with red hair and a spandex suit says, hey, baby, how you doing? You just gonna no, you the motherfucking Hulk.
The sun's getting real low.
The lullaby. That I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my god, she might as well be over there giving him a hand job. Like I was watching this because he fucking doing me.
Exactly.
The worst part of it was like him touching the open palm. Like,
the fuck are you, Tarzan?
It's
Tarzan
like
and Jane?
like a chimp thing.
Yeah, like I said, Tarzan and Jane. It's like, what the fuck? Are you Tarzan and Jane? How, like, what's going on here? Like, come on now. You're the motherfucking Hulk.
You and I, same. Settle down. Are you fucking kidding me?
That shit would not have flown. That shit would not have flown with Edward Norton's Hulk. That shit would not have flown with Edward Norton's Hulk. You trying to calm me down? No, I calm down when I want to calm down.
Right, and he had to wait for his Hulk to fall asleep, pass out, relax. He had to truly wait for him to relax, for him to change back.
Exactly.
And then the other thing I thought that was interesting is the fact that Edward Norton saw little glimpses of things he didn't quite remember, but he knew he saw them.
Yeah, he knew he did them. He just wasn't sure, like, you know. Yeah, so like,
he couldn't.
Like, Edward Norton really battled with having multiple personalities. I feel like they really honed in on the DID more with Edward Norton than with Bana or Ruffalo.
Yeah.
You know,
I concur.
And so I feel like that's why, to me, Norton's Hulk was better, because that's more comic accurate to how the struggle between Banner and Hulk was. Hulk didn't like Banner. Banner didn't like Hulk. You know, Hulk did everything he possibly can to stay out, while Banner did everything he could to keep Hulk in. There was always a battle and turmoil between the two. You know what I mean? But now we got Mark Ruffalo, who's like, you know my secret, Cap? I'm always angry. And so he has the ability to fucking Hulk out and not Hulk out. No. Like there was a moment where, like, in the comic books, yes, Banner and Hulk come to an agreement and amends. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, and again, he was able to commune better with Hulk and Hulk's personality.
He's wearing shirts and handing out tacos.
Yeah, that's not that. No, and even then, that isn't even how Professor Hulk really worked in the comic books. Like, you know, Professor Hulk in the comic books, he still had all of the strength and ability of Hulk, and
he was just competent.
Yeah, it was only just because Hulk allowed him that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, so now, like, we're not really seeing, like, with Mark Ruffalo, we're not really seeing Hulk's personality. We've never really seen Hulk's personality within the MCU, really. All we've seen is Bruce Banner, and even though we now get a Hulk on screen the entire time, we're still not seeing Hulk's personality. We're seeing Banner.
Yeah, you know I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, because in the beginning, yes, Hulk was a savage. She was mindless, out of control, rage, blah, blah, blah. But we see the character development of Banner, but where's the character development of Hulk himself? Because he is his own personality. He is his own character, separate from Banner, even though they're in the same body. Where's Hulk's character progression?
It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see more of Hulk's character progression.
It would be interesting if they... obviously you can't do it like how they did it with Tom Hardy with Venom.
No, they could. They definitely could.
I think if anything, they need to show character progression through the villains. They need to have him deal with people who are going to change his world look and his outview.
And exactly, and that's how they did it in the comic books. That's how they did it in comic books. Because Hulk, like I said, he is sentient. He is his own person, and by dealing with certain villains and dealing with certain situations, you know, that's what character progression is at its layman's term. You know, your protag develops and grows based off of the challenges that is thrown at the character.
Yeah.
Right? It's those challenges that are supposed to make your character grow. and become a better version of themselves.
It's like the classic hero's tale.
Exactly. And they're not following that. They're throwing that out the window so fucking far.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. It's irksome. It's very irksome because again, Hulk is such a long standing character, such a long fucking standing character, and he has so much so much potential, but also there's so much backstory as well. Like there's just so much backstory behind them that they can draw and pull from. And they're not doing it. You know, Hulk's a character from the 60s.
Yeah. He has a long history.
Yeah. You know, and so there's this I don't know. There's just so many things, and he's been a part of so many different teams: the Avengers, Defenders, the Horsemen. He's been a Horseman of the Apocalypse, the Fantastic Four, the Pantheon. That's who they were. The Pantheon were the group that pretty much I'm trying to really kind of explain.
You're talking about the Greek god thing?
Well, yeah, there was Ajax, Atlanta, Hector, Jason Paris. There's a bunch of people a part of this team. But yeah, they're led by a half Asgardian god, half human, half Asgardian, and shit like that. Pretty much the Pantheon are all pretty much this character's. I can't pronounce his name. It was Agamemnon.
Oh, Agamemnon.
Agamemnon.
Yeah. So pretty much the Pantheon are all his descendants and stuff like that. And their headquarters is called the Mount, the Mount and shit. So he's been a part of so many different groups, and including the Warbound, Agents of Smash, Secret Avengers, and shit like that. He has multiple different aliases, like we said, Joe Fixit, World Breaker, Immortal Hulk, Devil Hulk, Jade Giant, Jade Jaws, Doc Green, Guilt Hulk, or Guilt, they called him. And when he was a part of the Horseman Apocalypse, he was War. Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's just, and then he also has his own villains. The leader, the Abomination, the Zoberman. He has kids, Hero Kala, Scar. He has so much potential. And it's just not. They're not using it. They're using him as as the muscle of the group. When it's why are you using him as a muscle group where you literally have a god on the team? You have a super soldier, you have a god. Why are you using him as muscle when he has so much more?
That also depends on who you ask, man, because it's one of those things where if you look at Thor hasn't been really used correctly in the MCU in a lot of places either. That's just how was he disabled by a taser? He's a god of thunder.
Right. All I can say is that he got caught off guard or some shit. I don't know, but it's still, he's a fucking god. He's fought frost giants. He's a warrior. Where are those warrior reflexes when you got a scrawny little white girl fucking coming at you with a taser? Where are the man should have grabbed her arm and snapped her wrist so fast?
I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the one where in Ragnarok where Odin had the device on him and he kept getting shot.
Oh, yeah. So this man got dropped by a taser more than once as being the god of thunder, which really doesn't make any sense because it's all lightning. Thunder and lightning are not the same thing. But yeah, no, it just they're just not using Hulk properly. I need to see them really dig into the crates and use Hulk the way that Hulk, has always has been portrayed.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. So I don't know. I just feel like. Go ahead.
We really haven't seen. They. I mean, in the movies, they really have not portrayed the true power that he is capable of.
But I mean, like, how are they going to do that? They're going to have him get a running start, jump up, and super kick Galactus in the mouth?
Exactly.
He's done it.
But that's the point. That's the point, though. It's like how far can you go?
Yeah, and I guess that relates back to certain shit can't translate over properly to the screen. But with everything that they're doing, like, they can find a way. They're just not trying to find a way.
With what they've done recently, I agree with you. They could find a way.
Yeah. So the way I see, they went backwards. Instead of Hulk progressively getting stronger, they nerfed him.
Professor Hulk my balls.
What was that?
I said Professor Hulk my balls. What good is a Hulk that doesn't smash?
Right?
What good
right?
is a Hulk that doesn't smash?
And I hate to say this, but look at Jen. Look at Jen Walters. She was smashing a lot.
I'll be over here until you're done.
No, I'm done. That was it. That was it. But again, they portray, because I'm pretty sure Jen in the comic books, Jen was also like a little stronger than him too. But like, I feel like they felt like they had to nerf him to make her shine, which pisses me off because, like, why can't she not shine too? Why do you have to nerf the male character in order for her to shine? She's strong and powerful as shit in her own right.
She can do certain things, yes.
Like.
I think we all agreed with that silence. But no, yeah, it's just crazy. They got this immensely powerful, or maybe they're just holding off. Maybe they're holding off
for what? The apocalypse? For the end of times? Huh? What? For all to come crashing down like a deck of cards? Listen, man, they showed us what we could have had. They fluffed us right to the end, and then they told us to go home. All right.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah.
We were all looking forward to seeing some real shit. And the wild part is, like I said before, the Hulk's enemies aren't necessarily terrible.
No, not at all.
You watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
The Absorbing Man is an enemy of the Hulks.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yep.
Listen, they had to know who they did nerf was the Abomination.
Oh man. Oh my God.
And then we all have to just wait and buckle in and see how this whole thing with the leader goes.
I don't think they're gonna buff. I don't think they're gonna nerf him.
Well, they got to do the whole world's strongest thing because that was the leader's whole goal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and let's not forget, Red Hulk is also an enemy of Hulk as well.
Nah, I'm not going to count that because in the MCU there's no real costumes. There's the costumes. There's no secret identities. So it's like, with our luck, mad people are going to see him turn Hulk. So it's like you can't just fight the Hulk because it'll be a whole thing.
Oh, the Hulk's beating up the president.
No, the president's beating up the Hulk. Nigga, the Hulk's an American hero. Nigga, he bought half of the galaxy back.
Oh.
That's true. That's very true.
That's very true. You're right.
You're going to lose constituents like that.
Oof. So my question is, are we even going to see Hulk in Brave New World?
We might not, but it might be one of those things where they might be setting it up for his own little go ground again too. because they could make something go full circle for him. Like I said,
they could. He's not. They haven't completely lost it. They're not. It's not completely lost.
The leader's whole goal was to put his consciousness inside the Hulk's body.
Hey, yo, Diddy. But I get it. They could use that on how to bring regular Hulk back. They can use the leader as like to kind of continuously poke and prod at Bruce in this bum ass Professor Hulk identity in order to, fucking pull that out. It's like, no. This is not you. This is not your true power. This is not your true potential. The fuck are you? A fucking panda bear? Hell no. No.
It's like, you want to act like a bitch, I'm going to treat you like one.
Mm-hmm. Fucking bitch him like Thanos did.
Yeah, see, and that's another thing to me. That's what I was talking about, because that set the tone for that entire movie, the way he manhandled him like that. And to me, once again, that did so much more harm than good.
Big time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
That should have been a drag out fight. That should have been that that fight that you saw about before, that bare knuckle beat down drag out fight. Yeah, they could still have Thanos win in the end.
Like they wanted to portray how truly powerful Thanos was, and I get it, blah blah blah. But that was just not.
That was the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah,
like if
go ahead.
If he had manhandled Thor, I'd have took that better, because it's like the Hulk is supposed to be the strongest one according to their team. So it's like he took him out in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yep. Yeah. When in reality, I feel like beginning of the movie, yeah, but I feel like they should have had another fight between them, like Hulk getting his lick back, because Hulk didn't get his lick back. He did not get his lick back after getting his ass beat like that. Like, he completely bitched to Hulk to the point where he didn't want to fight no more.
Like, I ain't seen nothing that crazy since 300. All right.
Yes, agreed. Like, that shit is like that shit pisses me off. The way, if they really wanted to truly portray how strong Thanos was, they should have had him go toe to toe with Hulk and like take the beating, and like Hulk actually put a beating on him, but he also put a beating on the Hulk. And even though Hulk put a beating on him, he still, have him still win.
Or even if they had Thanos outsmart him, just like having Thanos beat the Hulk to the ground was just
physically was just bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Because like, okay, yeah, granted, Thanos is strong as shit, but he's also incredibly smart and intelligent as well. He's a warrior. He's a titan. He's a strategist. He literally runs his own army. So they should have. I feel like they really should have focused more on Thanos's brain than his brawn.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I personally still like the idea of like them going through that drag out fight, and Thanos standing up was like, "I've beat the strongest of you. Who's next? Who of you chooses to stand against me? I beat the supposed strongest of you. What now?"
Like, come on, bitches. Who's first?
Exactly. I smell bitches. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I feel like that would have been such a better story. It would have made for a better story. They could have, like, everything else was good. Everything else was good. But I just feel like the way they did Hulk in that situation. All right, and maybe getting him to the point where like he doesn't want to come out anymore, doesn't want to fight anymore. I get that. All right, that cool. I get that. But a beating like that in the first 5 minutes, and that be it, and the Hulk just like that's it for him? Hell no.
Yeah, he was literally that was it.
Even then, he shouldn't have won, because the angrier the Hulk gets, the stronger he gets. So the more Thanos punched him, the angrier he should have got. and would have dragged the fight out longer.
Yes.
So I don't know. They've been bitching the Hulk for too long now. They need to stop bitching this motherfucker and let him really roar. Let him really go wild and go stupid.
It would be amazing.
Absolutely, seriously. But let's listen to our podcast friends and Heartline Comics one more time, and then we'll get back with our final remarks and we'll head out for the night. Until next week. All right. We'll be right back after these messages.
Going on, everybody, Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, The Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchup. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out The Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Calvin, from the Icarus Podcast, and I just want to say that we got new episodes coming next Saturday and every Saturday after that. So all I will have to say from here is keep enjoying the show. You can check us out, www.IcarusMetroComics.com. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and more. See y'all next time.
Join the Pulse. We're excited to announce the launch of Heartline Comics' newest line, the Barcode Collection. Our fresh drop just hit the internet and is turning heads. Imagine this: you're rocking our merch, and friends can scan the barcodes to instantly connect with the Heartline Comics website. It's a game changer. Stay ahead of the curve and never miss a beat. Subscribe to our website for exclusive alerts on the latest merch drops and the newest comics hitting the shelves. Be part of the Heartline community and show off your style with pride. Trust us, you don't want to miss this.
All right, and we're back. All right, final remarks. Triage, shoot.
If I ever had to find myself on my back against the wall, and I had to remember that I had a monster like Bruce Banner, I'd just let the monster be the monster and call it a day.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. Jason, shoot.
You know, I kind of agree with Triage. Like, if they actually allowed the Hulk to be who the Hulk really would be, like, I think that we would see something absolutely incredible.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. All pun intended. Fuck it. Look at all pun intended. No, like I agree with both of you. You know, if they truly, and I feel like it would be for the betterment, because now they got to scale the rest of their characters. You know what I mean? They have to scale up the rest of the characters, and I feel like they're afraid to do that. Because one, they already fucked up with Carol Danvers. Like, she came in, like, one person came in and completely turned the tide of a fight, you know, and it's like, it was a fight that she shouldn't even have fucking been in to begin with.
She didn't turn the fight of no tide. She didn't turn no tide. If anything, she was the tide that drowned the Marvel. Never mind. Let me not.
But yeah, no, they have to, if they really let the Hulk be Hulk, he's gonna outshine the rest of the characters that they currently have. And of course, you know, they don't want to have anyone outshine Captain America. They don't want anyone to outshine the rest of the Avengers. But in reality, that's what the Hulk was, especially in the Avengers. You know what I mean? he knew his spot. He knew what his spot in the Avengers were. That's why a lot of the times, he would just do his normal shit. Fight this, fight that. He knew his time was gonna come in a fight. He was just waiting. As soon as the Cap was like, "Hey yo, Hulk, smash," he knew what it was. He knew what time it was. He knew that he would always get his chance to shine. You know what I mean? But like I feel like they're trying so hard to make everyone else, seem stronger and better that it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my big thing there. They're just not letting him do what he needs to do, and they're afraid that if he shines, he's going to truly outshine the rest of the team. They just need to let, like you said, Trios, let the monster be the monster.
I mean, if anything, at least just define things between the Beast and the Scientist a little bit better.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what you mean. I definitely feel you. But next week, who you want to dive into next week?
Let's see.
Man.
End of August next week. I want to go over Firestorm.
Oh, didn't we do Firestorm before?
I don't believe so.
I think we talked about him when we were talking about somebody else. But no, yeah, Firestorm. All right, bet definitely. All right, yeah. So tune in next week. We'll be diving in and going over breaking down Firestorm, as always, from the origin to their comic books to where they are now, and it gives me a chance to trash talk the second half of the Flash series. Lovely.
Oh my God.
Every chance I get, I will talk absolutely horrible about the back end of the Flash series. Always, every chance I get. But with that being said, y'all, that has been a super breakdown. Please tune in next week. Check out our YouTube, our Kick, our Twitch. We are everywhere. We are currently live on all those as well. Hit us up on Instagram if you have some, interesting characters that you want to hear broken down. If you want to see what our thoughts are on them, please, by all means, hit us up on our Instagram, hit us up on our Facebook, The Super Breakdown, on everything, The Super Breakdown or The Super Breakdown Podcast. You will find us. We are the only ones. We are greatness. And as always, remember, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.